Hello, Kyrie Edwards here, running for Maryland's 4th Congressional District. I wanted to talk a little bit about my Substack. It can be found under my pseudonym Cade Writes, that's Kade Writes, or you can just type in my name, KhYre, both comes up. I was temporarily locked out of my account and had to make a password, and it was a whole thing. So I ended up merging the Substacks, and so um, you definitely should subscribe. It's between $8 and $16, and as of making this video, I might not have edited it completely yet. To where I think there were two options, and I might just make it to one. Um, but you will find out a lot of information and a lot of what I think about some current events. It is a weekly newsletter, and it's primarily focused on covering the Trump administration and Trump officials. A lot of time will be spent on whatever destructive decision he made that week, and there will be definitely on Substack or off Substack people that do deeper dives into some stuff that maybe you care about, maybe you don't, and maybe I just don't cover it, and that's fine. I don't think we all have to cover the same five things every week, but you will most likely find the biggest decision or the decision that I believe is going to have the longest lasting impacts on the Substack, and it's called 208 weeks because that's how many weeks in the presidency. There's you know um, I was gonna tell you how many weeks are left because I published one this morning, but I don't want to give you the wrong number. I want to say it's at 157. Is that right? No, 147. There's 147 weeks left, I believe. But anyways, so one thing, but I don't end up covering everything, and sometimes I'll be driving around or walking through the store or listening to a podcast. I listen to lots of podcasts or reading a book, and I'll be like, I forgot this thing, and this was so important. And part of this exercise, to be candid, is that during Donald Trump's first administration, everything was so fast, and he definitely was moving with the mentality of move fast and break everything. And remember when we thought that was a good thing? Crazy, crazy times. Um, and it was hard to keep up with the pace of things, and I'm like a really observant political um, citizen. I try to educate other people about events and their rights, and um, I even sometimes my friends will call me and ask me who they should vote for, and instead of just giving them a direct answer of who I would vote for, sometimes I give them a background on each of the candidates and stuff, and make them make their own decision. And that's actually been what's funny about this campaign, because now I have to like do more self promotion, and I feel like an asshole sometimes being like, yeah, of course I'm the best option, but like that's kind of what you're supposed to do. But um I don't know. It's I I miss things, and sometimes I'm like, oh, should I go back and add this? And sometimes I do, and sometimes I just cover it in the following week, because at the end of this presidency, should we all survive and we have a democracy and stuff, it would be nice to either write a book or look back on this and be like, all right, did this hold up? Was this thing that we worried about, did it end up being the thing that we should have worried about, or was there something else that went under the radar, at least for me, that ended up being the most problematic thing, or the thing that cause a lot of issues? Because if you go back to Trump's first term and you Google articles on COVID, for example, obviously COVID-19 became a household thing. Like my kids heard about it and know quite a lot about it, and I think Naomi, my now 8-year-old, was 3, and so, or maybe she was even 2. Her birthday's in February, so. Um, but we found out about it in like February or March. We heard about it in January, and if you were a real astute listener to podcasts like NPR's up first, I think. I think they mentioned it in December even, and the CDC had it on their radar as early as November, but it didn't mean anything to us. We just heard reports of like this is going to be the worst cold and flu season ever, and I personally actually, a little bit TMI, but I went in for what I thought was a bladder infection, and they didn't have the test for them, and so they're like, "Oh, actually, it looks like you might have the flu," and they tested me, and I did not have the flu, so I think I probably had COVID, and then it's really the only time I had a COVID, so I don't know if I built up immunity after that, but it's the first time. It was the highest fever I ever had. It was bad, but I say all that to say, there was that one story that I missed this week, for example, that I do think is important, but I don't think we're going to be looking back on this 4 years from now, and I don't think this is going to be the thing. And it is about the Epstein files, and the Epstein files, I think, will be something that we're still talking about 30 years from now, whether we get full justice or not. I think it's just too much, and too many people are implicated, and two of the people that are implicated seems to be the wrong word for one of them, but I'll use it anyways. Implicated are the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton, and they had a closed door meeting with Republicans that they requested, or at least Hillary had requested to be public, and it was recorded, and those recordings came out this week, I believe on Monday, and I watched them, and they were lengthy, and I'll be honest with you, they were forgettable, and that's why I forgot to put it in my thing on my Substack. The Iran stuff was just way more pressing, and I think will be way more long-lasting effects on society and administration and the world. And honestly, I went in thinking that the allegations against Hillary Clinton were a bit ridiculous. Let's be real. Her using her foundation to smuggle children or recruit children for underground sex pedophile ring and all that was always ridiculous. I think most people at this point just want to know if she hid the crimes of her husband, former President Bill Clinton, or if she knew about them, or if she knew about Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's relationship before Ghislaine Maxwell got an invite to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. And you won't learn that in this. She got a little bit more heat than her husband did, and you watch his hearing, and I also didn't change my mind. I went in thinking that Bill Clinton probably did the things he's accused of, and there's probably proof of it, but the proof probably also implicates Donald Trump. So Bill Clinton had a vested interest in saying that he knew nothing about the crimes that implicated Donald Trump, and that's pretty much what he did. Now, if it comes out that there's no proof that Bill Clinton ever did anything, but there is proof that Trump did it, and Trump doesn't produce any proof that Bill Clinton was there, then I'll probably have to retract my statement, because I don't think Donald Trump would go down with the sinking ship without taking everyone that he can prove, and even some people that he can't prove were there or down with him. And so that's what I think about that. Hillary Clinton, for all her faults, does seem to really believe in the dignity and personhood and the need for improved rights for children, not just in this country, but around the world. And she's made that the center point of her career. She clearly believed that before she even ran for politics. And, there's some people that probably have been running for president since kindergarten, and that's usually deemed it a bad thing. But I don't know. You know what you want to do, and you do it. I feel like most of the time we reward that. So I don't know why we wouldn't reward that in this regard. But even that being said, I don't think she did all this calculation to pretend to love children, all to just abuse those relationships, and to what? She already had money. They all had money, and they had prestige and power. So, yeah. So subscribe to the Substack if you want to help me directly. Thank you.